It's three men sharing power. Rome was still officially a republic, with the Senate, the assemblies, the people voting. We just made a private deal. Pompey was the most famous general alive, conqueror of the East. Crassus, he was the richest man in Rome. And me, I was the ambitious one, the one with the political skills and the willingness to bend the rules.
So you formed an alliance?
An unofficial one, but yes, we agreed to support each other's interest. Pompey got political recognition for his conquest. Crassus got laws that helped his financial interest. And I got the consulship, and more importantly, what came after that.
And what exactly came after that?
Command of Gaul, which includes northern Italy and the southern part of what's now France. 5 years to start, but it would eventually extend to 10.
Why Gaul? What made it so important?
Oh man, it had everything. Gaul was wealthy and stable, full of warlike tribes. It was the perfect opportunity. I could win glory, wealth, and most importantly, build an army loyal to me. Because I understood, in Rome, everything ultimately comes down to force. All the speeches, the laws, the political maneuvering. It only matters if you have the swords to back it up.
So you went into this knowing you were building military power for political reasons. That's not really governing, is it? That's preparing for war.
It's both. And the way things were back then. Look at Roman history. How did Sulla become dictator? Military force. How did Pompey become powerful? Military force. Rome was built on the idea of civilian rule, but peek below the surface, and it's always been about who commands the legions.
And you see an opportunity to follow a similar path, don't you?
That was the plan. I was going to make myself indispensable, make myself so successful, so popular, so militarily powerful, that Rome couldn't function without me.
Okay, but if you're wanting to save the Republic and you're making it so that it can't function without you, and you have that much control, wouldn't that in essence no longer be a republic? You'd essentially be destroying the Roman Republic that you're supposedly wanting to save.
No, honestly? Well, look, I convinced myself I was saving it. The Republic was dying anyway. Corruption, violence, powerful men using mobs and bribes to get their way. I thought, if I could consolidate power, I could fix it, bring order, make reforms that were impossible in the chaos.
It sounds like things are starting to get complicated.
They certainly are. I can start to feel things changing in me as well.
So then you get to Gaul, you're 38 years old, and you've got a command, you've got ambition. What were you expecting when you arrive?
I thought it would be relatively straightforward. Manage the province, maybe a small campaign against some merciless tribes, and then return to Rome, covered in enough glory to secure my political future.
But that's not what happened, is it?
No. Almost immediately I was dealing with a crisis. The Helvetii, a Celtic tribe, were migrating through Roman territory. Hundreds of thousands of people on the move.
And this is when you see an opportunity.
I saw a threat that needed to be addressed. But yes, I also saw an opportunity. If I let them pass, I'd look weak. If I stopped them, I'd be defending Rome from our barbarian invasion. So, I did what I had to, and I stopped them.
How?
We caught them trying to cross the Son River. We hit them while they were vulnerable, killing thousands. Then, pursued the survivors for weeks until they were starving and exhausted. When they finally surrendered, I sent them back to their lands. What was left of them, at least.
Did you say thousands? How many died exactly?
Out of maybe 370,000 who started the migration, about 260,000 survived to go home. Maybe more, maybe less. It's hard to know exact figures, of course.
That's still so many people, but hold on a sec. I want to check something. Tad, can you do me a favor and pull up Perplexity? Let's see what the actual records say about the Helvetii casualties. Because those numbers are, staggering. I want to see if that lines up with what historians have found. Okay, here we go. It's loading now. Let's see. When Julius Caesar fought the Helvetii in 58 BC, it resulted in massive casualties among the Helvetii and their allies, according to ancient sources. Caesar himself claimed 368,000, similar to what you were just telling us here. And let's see, if we scroll further, oh look, here we go. So it says, modern historians generally regard Caesar's numbers as highly exaggerated, and some estimate the actual numbers closer to 12 to 50,000 in total. Ha! That's interesting.
It's actually possible. Look, counting the field is chaos. You're estimating based on camp sizes, supply trains, reports from scouts who may or may not know what they're talking about. And yes, I was writing reports back to Rome, and I knew they would be read publicly. Did I round up? Probably. Did I make the threat seem larger to justify the campaign? Maybe.
So you might have been fighting a much smaller force than what you claimed.
Sure, but the threat was real. That part wasn't exaggerated. Massive groups of people moving through Roman territory, even if it's a smaller number than I reported, it's still a crisis. So yeah, maybe the numbers I reported served a purpose. They made the victory seem more impressive, and it made me seem more necessary.
Because you still need Rome to see the threat as significant, enough to justify the campaign, right? But when you're thinking about how to frame it for Rome, when you're calculating the political impact, how do you also carry the weight of what actually happened? Thousands of people still died.
At the time, you don't. You justify it strategically, morally, politically. You tell yourself it was necessary, that more would have died if you'd done nothing, if you'd let the chaos spread. Then you focus on what comes next, because if you stop to really feel the weight of things, it can paralyze you.
And later, looking back,
Later, you realize you were good at not feeling, maybe too good, and you wonder if that's really a strength or a failure.
yeah, trust me, I get it.
You dealt with this too, right? The Civil War, the casualties must have haunted you.
They did. They still do. I used to have nightmares about the casualty reports, just numbers on paper, but each one was someone's son, someone's husband, and I had to keep making decisions that would create more of those numbers. You tell yourself it's for the Union, for ending slavery, for something bigger, but people still die.
How did you cope with it?
Barely. Some days I didn't. I'd shut down and just want to be alone. My wife thought I was going mad, and maybe I was, a little, but you're right that you can't stop to fully feel it in the moment. You'd collapse. So, you compartmentalize it. You find reasons to keep moving.
And you? Did you ever doubt yourself?
Every day, but what's the alternative? If you believe the cause is just, you have to see it through. The doubt doesn't relieve you of the responsibility.
That's well said.
So, the Helvetii are dealt with. But that wasn't the end, was it?
No, that was just the beginning. Because once you fought one campaign, there's always another crisis. Germanic tribes were crossing the Rhine. Gallic tribes were forming alliances against Rome. Each problem I solved created new problems. But each new problem was another opportunity.
An opportunity for what?
Glory, my friend. Wealth, loyalty for my soldiers, and political capital back in Rome. Every victory made me more powerful, which made me more threatening to my enemies, which meant I needed to be even more powerful to protect myself. It's an endless cycle.
A cycle you fed.
Yes, and I did so consciously, because I could see where it was going. I could see that if I succeeded in nothing Gaul, I'd return to Rome as the most powerful man in the Republic, and that would force a reckoning.
So, what's the plan exactly?
I decided I would conquer Gaul completely, not just defend the borders, but subjugate the entire territory, make it Roman, do it so successfully, so dramatically, that when I came home, I'd be untouchable. A second Alexander, a second Pompey, someone Rome couldn't destroy without destroying itself.
That's quite the ambition.
That's what it takes. Half measures don't work. If you're going to do something, you must do it so completely that no one can undo it.
And when mapping this out, how long did you think it was going to take?
I thought maybe 5 years for the campaigns, then pacification, but it took 8 years of almost constant warfare.
8 years in the field, commanding, fighting. Most of us can't imagine that. What's that do to a person?
It means you never stop moving. You're commanding tens of thousands of men spread across hundreds of miles. You're making decisions about logistics, about supply lines, about where to camp, where to march, who to trust with which command. And all of this is happening while you're also fighting the wars, conducting diplomacy, writing reports back to Rome, and managing your political enemies who are trying to undermine you from thousands of miles away.
And how much sleep are you getting during this time?
Not much, and rarely lying down. Sleeping through the night leaves you too vulnerable.
Were you ever in any real physical danger? Like you know, personally, that is.
Constantly. But look, I get it. People think generals stay in the back safely. However, that wasn't how I commanded. I needed my men to see me. If I'm asking them to march into danger, I have to be willing to do it as well. So yes, I did fight, and I was in the thick of it more than once.
Can you tell me about one of those times?
The Battle of Sabis against the Nervii. That was the closest I came to complete disaster in Gaul. We were marching towards the Nervii territory. They were one of the fiercest tribes, known for refusing to trade with Rome, and maintaining their warrior-like culture completely. We thought we had more time before engaging them. Our scouts said they were still days away.
But they weren't.
No, they knew we were coming, and they were waiting.